Hello, geometry. Here is our first vocabulary video. Alright, so these are all going to be vocabulary words and some postulates and theorems. You need to make sure these are watched before the lesson. Okay. So the first one is a point. It indicates a location and has no size. Okay, you name it by putting a dot, just like the letter A here. Okay, make sure it's uppercase or capital letter when you name it. Okay. The next one's a line. A line is represented by a straight path that extends in two opposite directions without end and has no thickness. A line contains infinitely many points. So there are a lot of points in here. Okay, but we have A and B, so we're going to name it AB, just like they did, and above it looks like a line. Okay. Now you can also name it with a lowercase letter like this L. So you would call it line L or just AB with the symbol above the two letters. Okay. A plane is represented by a flat surface that extends without end and has no thickness. A plane contains infinitely many lines. Okay. You can name a plane by a capital letter, such as the P. Now you notice the P is different than the A, B, and C. The P is there strictly to name the plane. It is not a point on the plane. Okay, like A, B, and C have dots, so those are points on the plane. So you could not name this plane A, B, P. Okay, the P is strictly there for naming. Okay. And the symbol, if you want to use a symbol instead of writing out the word plane, looks like a parallelogram. So you could go plane ACB. Okay, or they have plane ABC. Okay, you can use a symbol or write out the word. Alright, points that lie on the same plane are called collinear points. Okay, and when you look at that word, look at the word line in there. So when you think collinear, you think line. Okay, so points that lie in the same line are collinear points. Points and lines that lie in the same plane are called coplanar points, or coplanar. All the points of a line are coplanar. Okay, so here we have ABC. Okay, they are collinear points. ADB are not collinear. Okay, you can though. AD can be collinear if you draw a line between them. So, right. Now, let's do a little examples. We're not going to answer all these, but what are two other ways to name QT? Now, symbol shows that it's a line, and QT starts in the middle and goes up. So another way to name QT is TQ. You could always switch the order on a line. Okay, or we can name it NQ or QN. Okay, or TN. Okay, or if you look at this little M here, you can name it line M. Okay. What are two other ways to name plane P? Now remember P, it doesn't have a dot, so it is not a point on the plane. It's strictly there to name it. So you need to make sure when you name a plane that you're picking 3 points that are not in a straight line. Okay, so you have to pick V. Okay, you can't pick T because T is not on the plane nor is N. So V, and it doesn't matter any other 2 points, are Q. Right? You could not call this plane RQS. Okay, so be careful with that. Okay, what are the names for 3 collinear points? Alright, so our 3 collinear points are R, Q, and S. So when we name them, we're just going to put a dot and then the letter. Point R, point Q, and point S. What are the names of 4 coplanar points, meaning points that are all in the same plane? So we would go R, Q, S, and V. Okay, you can't use P again because it's not a point on the plane, nor is the lowercase l. Lowercase l is another way to name that line. Okay, all right, more definitions. Segment. A segment is part of a line that consists of 2 endpoints. So think a segment of like a centipede has segments in it. It's not the whole thing. It's just a piece of something. So AB over here is a segment. You notice there's no arrows. So it's almost like it is a piece. So we originally had this, and then we had A and B, and we took AB out to get a segment. Okay, segment you can name either way, AB or BA, does not matter. Array is a part of a line that consists of one endpoint and all the points of the line on one side of the endpoint. So in this case, it's the same thing. We have our original line AB here, and we want array. Okay, so we're going to take from A, and we're going to go all the way through B. Now this one, you should always lead with the endpoint. So this is ray AB. Okay. Opposite rays are two rays that share the same endpoint and form a line. Okay, basically this looks like a line with 3 points on it. Okay, the middle point is always going to be the end point of each opposite ray. Okay, so you have a ray this way, and you have a ray going the other way, and it looks like a line. Okay, we'll do a couple of these. What are our names of the segments in the diagram? We'll just do a couple of them. Okay. We have DE. Okay, make sure you put the symbol over it. EF, FD, and so on. And remember, you can switch the orders of those. What are the names of the rays? Okay, on the rays, you can't pick an N. I can't pick D and try to go to the left. I can, though, pick DE and DF. Those are the same rays. Okay, or you can go the other way and we can go ED. Okay, with E being the endpoint. Which of the rays in part B are opposite rays? Okay, we don't think we did. ED would be an opposite ray of EF. You notice that the two endpoints are the same. Okay. All right, a postulate. So here's some postulates. Or an axiom is an accepted statement of fact. Before we do that, did you guys know that you cannot lick your elbow? Okay, just a neat little fact there. All right, our first postulate is 1-1. You do not need to know that it's 1-1, okay? On a test, you're going to have to explain it. You're not going to put postulate 1-1, okay? And all it's saying is that through any 2 points, there's exactly one line, okay? And then when we talk lines, remember we're talking straight lines, okay? So line T passes through points A and B. Okay, it's the only line that passes through A and B. No other line can pass through those 2 points. Okay, so between any 2 points, there's exactly one line. All right, the next postulate: if 2 distinct lines intersect, then they intersect in exactly 1 point. Okay, what this is saying is our lines are straight, so they can't intersect in any other way. Okay, we can't have lines that go like this. Okay, that would intersect in 2 ways, but one's not a line. Okay. So line AE and DB intersect at point C. All right. Now, postulate 1-3. If 2 distinct planes intersect, then they intersect in exactly one line. So we have our yellow plane and our bluish plane. So plane RST and plane WST intersect, and they intersect at line ST. Okay. So 2 planes intersect at a line. And I believe that's it for 1-2. I hope you guys got a lot out of this, and we'll see you in class. Have a great day.